Hello, this is Martin here from seekedge, the channel for learning about trading and investing. Welcome to a new episode of market analysis that happens daily, and this is for the market to look at the markets tomorrow for August 11, 2021 Wednesday. So as we do every day, we will do the pre-market analysis based on these parameters that you see on the left side, which is on the charts, and on the right side we go additional analysis on the data that is about various other global aspects and open interest and volatility and sectorial watch and commodities and all that, right? So if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe right away and share it to maximum number of people. That's the only way you can keep us motivated doing this better each time. So let's dive into the charts as usual. So this is the Nifty and Nifty 50 index that you see here, and what you see here is indecisiveness, clearly consolidation. Indecisiveness because it's a doji pattern. That's the second doji that's happening in the last 4 trading days. In second or third, this also can be considered a kind of a small body. It's like a spinning top, but almost like a doji. So there is indecisiveness in the market about whether to go upwards or not, is what it indicates. Bank Nifty, if you see here also, you see some kind of consolidation, right? It's a breakout, and then there is a triangle pattern breakout. It did broke out, but the bears and the resistance on the top pushed it downside, you can say. So this is getting inverted hammer that you can see. So the wick on the top side shows the pressure from the bears. The pressure from the bears is what it indicates, the bearish pressure from the top side for this to go further ahead. But both indices are showing consolidation for sure. And let's look at what the Bollinger Band says. So the breakout is slowly, you can see that the expansion is happening slowly on the Bank Nifty also. Nifty, it already happened, the volatility expansion happened and then it started consolidating. Bank Nifty had not happened, but looks like from today there is some move upwards to on the band of the Bollinger Band, is what we could see. Now let's just go and see the levels also. Before that, let's see what happened in the indices today in the shorter time frame. What is the price action that happened? So you can see that there was an up move, clearly an up move was there. Then after the initial the third candle, you can say, after it has moved up to this is a Bank Nifty, moved up to above 36,300 levels, then there was a consolidation, and then by afternoon it dipped and then tried to recover later. So net nothing happened in the Bank Nifty. It was pure consolidation, sideways movements. Whatever it gained in the morning, it gave up. Nifty, you can see same thing. It went up till making a new all-time high. 16,359 was the new all-time high, right? So it went and hit there, and then it again tried to attempt to hit there, and then it failed and then broke down. By the afternoon 1:35, it was heavy. Big 2 candles, a heavy candle, so it gave up everything. And what was the price that it had gained, right? So if you look at that, it went up around 100 points, and then from there it just crashed around 150 points and then recovered it. So again, another day of upward move in the morning, then a breakdown, and then a recovery again, half of that. So this was another day of tough day for the intraday traders, at least, right? Bank Nifty was not that volatile. Again, there was an up move, there was a consolidation, breakdown, and small recovery. So up, down, up. So it's like so it was a tough market day today also. So let's look at the support resistances. You can see that it's in the uncharted territory for the Nifty. So this 50% fib projection is what it is, no? From the last swing down, we have made a projection, and it seems like 15350 has got a resistance. That is where it is reversing downside every time. So it's a 2 or 3 or 4 times that it's happening. So this is clearly a resistance. The 15350 has to be conquered first, and beyond that, the retracement level of 16500 kind of levels, 16550 kind of levels would come the next once the, so that would be the 61 resistance zone basically, right, for the fib trend extension. So I'm talking about this the trend based fib extension, right? Now downside, you have the fib retracement 23% support, so that support remains the same. So 16,000 would be a big rounding number support, and then 950, 850 the previous supports. Swing lows where it was consolidating and getting hit multiple times, and then below that you have this 500 to 15500 zones, and below that you have this 15 250 400 kind of zone. So everything remains there. Downside, whatever resistance was there, that would actually support regions, but above you have uncharted territory, and the first would be 16350 where it is facing resistance. That's on the Nifty. And the Bank Nifty, it is yet to conquer the 36,000. Although 36,000 is where the closing has happened, it is yet to close above the 36,500 level, which is the the immediate resistance. Now after that it has the 37,700, which is just far away. It's below it the previous resistance what it had. So it's taking kind of a, so the immediate support, you can see that it's 35,800 and 35,600, that zone. 650 to 850, 36,650, so 35,650 to 35,850, that kind of zone, that is an immediate support. Below that you have 35,000 to 34,400 kind of support. So all that remains the same, the bottom supports. But the main thing, hurdle for the Bank Nifty would be to clear this 36,500 zone, right? It has at least closed above 36, which, so it attempted to break out of this triangular flag and pole pattern that you can see there. It attempted that, and then resistance, bearish pressure could not make it happen. So most likely it is heading upwards, what we can see. Now let's see the momentum. You can see that Nifty, the momentum is, it's on in the bullish zones at the 670 levels, near to that. Bank Nifty also, it's on the bullish zones, right, above 60. And the trend, if you see the trend indicator radius, you can see that it's in the bullish zones, and the strength of the trend is rising up. So the Bank Nifty also, it is bullish zones, and the strength of the trend is rising up. So no issues there. And all other time frames also doing good, other than the daily, the weekly, and the monthly also is bullish. So trend, momentum, and the candlestick patterns are also indicates there could be a breakout, but consolidation is what has been happening in Nifty and the Bank Nifty, and a breakout is likely, what you can guess. So that's about the left hand side analysis. The right side, let's go to the open interest charts and see if the futures data is available or not. Right, futures open interest data. This is so the next day's data is still not published, but it must be a long build up today also. It's for we'll have to wait for that data. So let's try and see the open interest data for today's option, for the Nifty for 12th August expiry. The highest open interest is 16,300, highest put rating is at 16,200, which will be support, and put call ratio is PCR 1.4 is bullish. Bank Nifty highest call rating is 36,000, that's where the resistance is going to be, and the highest put rating is at 35,000, that's where the major support is going. PCR has dropped a little bit, 0.77 is neither bearish nor bullish, not at all bullish, not bullish yet. So that's what Bank Nifty is as per the open interest data. Now, what happened to the VIX? Let's say the VIX, and it is nothing much has happened. It dipped. So let's go. So this is what happened. It has stayed almost flat, and if you go to the lower time frame for today, 10th, if you see, this is what happened. Right? The VIX shot up and reached 13. Right? The VIX shot up along with the market rising actually. Right? VIX dropped along with the so whatever increase in the VIX happened today from probably the 12.57 to 13, it dropped. It dropped. But interestingly, when the market is falling, the VIX was falling. So it gives an indication probably that fall was not real fall. Similarly, when the market was rising, the VIX was moving up, which probably gave an indication that it was not really, rising, and it may be a trap. But nevertheless, today there was an all-time high that made it trapped many, who went long after the previous all-time high was taken, but immediately it was being bullish pressure from the bearish pressure that is what happened. So volatility is still in the very low levels of 12.7, 12 kind of levels continues to be there, right? Occasional spikes that happens. Uh, most this has been happening since before the breakout also is the same. Occasional spikes when the VIX is at very low level, right? Even when the VIX is at low level, the spikes are making big moves and then wipes out the intraday traders trading plan basically, right? Same thing I mean. So sectorial watch is something. So before that, let's get to see the foreign institutional participation if the data is available. And what we see here is that FI sold slightly around 200, 170 crores, and these guys made up for it, 689 crores domestic institutional buying happened, which is good. But FI is not selling huge is also good, right? And what we see next is sectorial performance. For that, let's see the heat map, and yes, so today only IT performed. So it's interesting. So the only sector that performed is IT and consumer services, which is some Naukri and Jubilant Food and Trend. So IT, Infosys and Wipro and HCL, all of them perform. So IT is the only index that performs. Let's look at the charts of the index. This is IT index, and if we go to the daily time frame, we can see that IT is continues in the bullish zones and breaking out like anything on the daily time frame, right? So the dollar is strengthening, IT would obviously would not stop moving up, right? Metal dipped again and took support of the previous breakout zone, the previous resistance zone. So this, if there is another candle that's coming tomorrow, is ending up green, that means it's a change in polarity, right? So, but you can see that it has moved into sideways. Momentum has slightly moved. A crossover of ADX has happened, which is not good. So, which indicates that probably the change in polarity won't happen and it could slip down. Let's see. So you have to be cautiously bullish. You have to be cautious only on confirmation that the momentum sustains above. Should you trade any stock in this? Auto is continuing to be bearish today also after it had climbed back to the neckline of the pattern. It's consolidating there, and it just broke down from the neckline once again. So the bearishness continues in the auto, and the pharma is continuing in consolidation, bearishness, sideways movements. FMCG is also gone to the sideways. Right, there was kind of a breakout, could not do the breakout, and it's sliding down the sideways. And reality, which was bullish, also is going the sideways, right? So some bullish stocks have gone to the sideways, right? So right now the reality is that only IT and only IT is bullish, and rest is all metal is bullish, but it has slided into the sideways, and what was bearish and sideways momentum, and all pharma and realty all are moving into sideways. So only IT is the only one performing, is what we get from the charts on the short term. Now that's a sector watch. And then US dollar performance, if you see, you can basically see that dollar is strengthening, and Indian rupee dollar pair also is strengthening, kind of, right? So it had slipped from that support zone, and it has climbed back with two green candles, and today was a hammer pattern that is formed, which shows that there is bullishness from the downside, right? So that probably may go and hit the channel. It may be journey up, journey upwards towards the 75 levels of the channel top, right? So that's what USDINR, so 75 and 75 would be, you can place straddles for iron flies, hedged iron flies with the 75 call sold, and probably 74 looks to be a support, right? There is a previous support zone here, right? So hedged straddles, strangles basically, right? 75 and 74 for the monthly expiry or a weekly expiry, depending on, that could be a good thing to do, right? So you can see that the dollar is strengthening, and it is at a major resistance zone, and if it is breaking out of that zone, then dollar index, not the INR pair, so that seems to be heading up, and then it is at a resistance zone. We'll come to know if it breaks out. Then definitely rupee is going to weak. So we can see that the 10-year yield is rising up. That's why you have the dollar strengthening that's happening. The tapering of the US yield bonds, and stoppage of money printing indications for the Fed. Probably maybe the reasons for this. Oil had dipped good enough to 67 levels, and then today it is again seems to be climbing upwards. Gold had breached and fallen. The big fall happened in the gold the other day following the US dollar strengthening, and it bounced back, forming a hammer, but it looks like the bearishness is not yet over, and today also you can see that it's a bearish inverter hammer kind of formation, or a small body candle is what is getting formed, but it did recover a lot after it made a big crash kind of fall. You can see the handle weak on the bottom. So, but there are buyers. The bullishness is what you can see there, which pushed it up, right? So that's about the gold and USDINR. And global markets, if you see, it's all green. Nasdaq is green, Dow Jones is slightly green, and S&P 500 is also green. Europe markets all except CAC, and yeah, so it's just slightly in the red, you see right now. So all these foreign markets indices should be checked before the pre-market next day morning when the trade starts. So, that will really give you the clear picture on whether the big moves happened or not. But as of now, everything seems fine in the global market. So just to wrap up again on what we have analyzed, right? So there is a potential for a further up move. That's what the charts indicate, what in the bands indicates, right? But there is slight consolidation after a big breakout earlier that happened last week, right? That's where we are. Now the sectors are not performing, is not good. Dollar is gaining more strength, rupees weakening is not good, right? But FI is not selling too much is good news, right? And momentum and trend and support resistance all indicates that there is scope for further up move, right? So positionally, there's no change in the approach, right? Just have to keep trading the stop loss if there is further up move, or look out for this the sell signals in case there is a breach of the levels that we discussed earlier. Intraday is period of spikes. Be cautious on the spikes in the volatility. You keep the VIX as a watch whenever you're trading, because VIX spikes are causing a lot of immediate reversals after good trending moves, right? So keep watch of intraday open interest and the VIX in the radar while you're doing the intraday, and strictly you do it only above the previous days. If you see there is a strong move above previous day's high or previous day's low, then you should go long and short accordingly. Anything in between, that's not sustained. It could be, it could cause reversals on other side, right? Where you get stopped out on both sides. So I hope this gives you a brief on what exactly happened today, the whole day, the trading, and also it gives you an idea on where are we in the, where are we currently, where is the market currently, and what kind of trade plan can be suitable to take. Actionable, you can check my Twitter handle where I have provided some actions. For example, this is Naukri in Fyers. We can see that it's set as a resistance zone, and if there is a breakout that is happening above that, you can trade it. Otherwise, if you see a red candle, you can wait for that. So check the Twitter handle. You can see more details. So Techum had a breakout, so it has moved 5% from the last time I posted. Right? It has moved substantially, so there can be retracements. You have to be careful for entry now, because this is a breakout with a which happened much time ago, right? But still it is only one performing, and maybe a good idea to look for some retracement before you can make an entry. Sun Pharmaceutical, you can see that there is breakout already happened after a rounding pattern, and you can also see that it continues to move upwards, right? But the Atrial is also at that resistance zone, and watch out for that zone to see if it gives any trade above the neckline of the W pattern, double bottom, right? So Alchemy Lab is another one, right? This is a trend line channel. The momentum is good on all time frames. So these are a few actionables that you can look at stock wise, right? Indices I already mentioned how it can be traded. So I hope it helps, and if you like it, click the like button. If you're not subscribed, immediately subscribe and share it to maximum of people. That's the only way you can help motivate us to keep doing this every day. Thanks for watching, and happy trading and happy learning. Thank you.